Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to Daredevil Season 3, Episode 10, titled Karen. Karen is hunted by Fisk and haunted by her past. Now, you may notice I've got this. I've finally seemingly fixed the problem that I was having with my new microphone, the ground loop problem, and so I'm going to try and transition into using this. I've still got the lapel mic on just in case this doesn't end up working. That way you've got a backup of my audio, but yeah. I've had to put a filter that basically, unless I'm talking, the microphone's silent. So it's just, I don't want there to be too much dead air. But if you're watching along with me, you've got the show running as volume, so also I can manually adjust on this microphone what my volume intake is. So if I think this is too quiet, I can change it on this. But yeah. Anyway, it's just a bit of back end stuff that I've dealt with. So let's see how this goes in 3, 2, 1, go. I still don't know why it only works half the time. Just just before. No time or anything. No before what. I could not imagine being in a place like this. There were way too many people around. However, that seems like it'd be a fun thing to do. Zeta something beta. I'm not entirely familiar with the Greek alphabet, but that is a Coke thing. The fact that I know what that looks like purely because of that um, video where someone's like, "You gotta take this off your keyring." That's my dad. Yeah, that's the only reason I know what. Who's this? And how did he know to come in? You don't try to steal from a dealer, much less the one who's dealing to this entire sorority that you're in their house of. Like, you really didn't think there'd be any repercussions from that? Like, I've never done anything worse than pot, and even I know don't fuck with people's dealers. I don't. Something's telling me that that was her brother, but it could also be an ex. I don't know. I just assume that this is getting into the stuff with her brother and why her dad at least hates her. So, but then again, she also seemed like she was the only one related to drugs from the brief bits of dialogue we've had, so maybe it's not her brother. I sort of hope it's not the brother. I'm going to assume a job. Yeah, that's definitely not the car from the scene that I was talking about at the end of the last episode, so I may have just been confusing two very different scenes. Because it just the premise of this episode makes me think we never got Karen's backstory before now. Seems like it's been a little more than a minute. Ah, yeah, it's a diner. And again, I don't know how quickly the sun rises at VT. Is that Vermont? Was she even really that late if the place isn't even open? Yes, I know there's a lot of pre-opening stuff that you have to do, but still. I hate people like that. I mean, she's got a semi-steady influx of cash. Problem is, she can't exactly explain to her parents where it came from, and also her boyfriend probably doesn't want that being used purely on her, considering it seems like a joint venture. I mean, you didn't have to throw out the sausage. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before, but we occasionally get a few cops that come to my workplace, and they are pissed that they aren't allowed in between 11 to 5, just like everyone else, just because they're cops. I'm like, it's the rules, and then they leave without getting anything. to... She was already at a college party, so is she not actually a student at the college? I guess that would be why he said student discount. Well, she did tell Wesley at the start that she knew how to use guns. Yeah, this is exactly what I was expecting from this boyfriend. I mean, we did know that before Foggy and Matt, she didn't exactly have a good run of exes, so... Yes, that's what's affecting her work. Who has milk with dinner? Why did my camera just say camera on? Was my thing frozen? How funny would it be if that was a jackpot ticket? There were 7 squares on that scratchy. What? She only scratched one thing. Do I have a question? Do other countries call those scratchies? Or is it just lotto for everything? Because, like, we call them scratchies here. I've had that winning one on my desk since Christmas. It's a whole $2. This episode is a lot less of Karen being hunted by Fisk than I thought, by that being the first half of the synopsis. I wasn't expecting this to be a full flashback episode. I'm gonna have to rewatch this because it just did the camera on again. Well, it wasn't the diner that got burnt down. He did warn you. Maybe shoot out one of his tires as you go past. Because I can't expect he won't be coming after you. Well, I was right about the ramp and the flip, but I thought it was the. I definitely did have a different scene in mind when I was talking about that. Because it was even the wrong side of the car that it ramped. And it's gonna look even worse on her because she was under the influence of both drugs and alcohol. Huh. Not gonna lie, when she was pointing the gun at her boyfriend, I remembered back when she was talking to Wesley and said, "Do you really think you'd be the first person I've killed?" Or did she say shot? Because if she said shot, then yes, it was correct that the boyfriend was first. But I really thought she was gonna have killed her boyfriend. Like, shot him and then killed her brother in the same night. Hmm. No, you won't. He wants you out. He doesn't want you in prison, but he also can't be around you or have you around. I mean, I can get where he's coming from. Like, I entirely understand his reasoning, his response. It's just we know Karen's changed, so we also have the whole we like this character, so we feel bad for her. It also didn't exactly seem like she was addicted, like her counterpart in the comics are. Because, like, yes, she was doing coke multiple times, but we didn't really see any of the signs of addiction. Then again, it was also heroin in the comics, not cocaine. So you don't have to be. Honestly, hearing some scripture verses could help you at the moment, Karen. Well, I don't believe I understand the how words can help people sometimes, and especially with Father Langton, he'd choose specific ones to help you. It's Matt. She knows. I do like that line. I thought there was going to be some more profound source for that quote, but I guess John Lennon works as well as any. I would not have thought like a son to describe the relationship between Fisk and Wesley. Does he not see the hypocrisy with how he feels about Wesley and what he's inflicted on Dex by taking Julie? Who am I kidding? Of course he doesn't. Another thing about this episode, I really thought that Dex and Karen had some sort of history with the whole Hello Karen. But I guess that was purely for the camera to go to the fence. She really wants Fisk dead. Gonna kill in a church. Probably one of the worst places to commit murder. Why is he framed like he's going to die? I was full expecting something to just come flying straight center camera and hitting Langton. I was expecting another just catch just before it hits, but like with what happened with Foggy, but the fake out kick to a secondary kick in the head. Well, I was right about him dying, but I was not expecting. Use his dying breath to ask forgiveness from Matt. Hmm. What the hell move was that, Dex? Oh, not the confessional booth. There's still all those people in the pews. You know, it may have actually been in the comics where Bullseye killed Karen in the church. Not the rosary beads. And the collection tree. I would have also made comment about the candles, but I don't know what they're actually called. Come out to play. I don't know why it just made me think of that, but I also don't know if my microphone picked that up with the noise gate I put on. I thought it was going to chuck that down at him. Like, I feel he would have had a better chance at killing Matt if he had have actually just thrown it at him, even from that distance. He's gone. Hmm. Not what I was expecting from this episode. I wasn't expecting 2/3 of it to be Karen's backstory. I wasn't expecting to have been right about some details of it, but so wrong about others. Um, the fight between Dex, Karen, and Matt in the church. I'm pretty sure Bullseye kills Karen Page. Yeah, that's what I thought. Uh, Open image in new tab. Let's bring up window capture. Not that one. This one. Cradled pretty much the exact same way. And if you under the cross and everything, but she's got the billy club in her stomach in pretty much the same way that Langton had the knife. So they, uh, let's see, what is that? Volume 2, number 5. storyline is this from? Came out in 1999. Guardian Devil. Okay. I think I may have something related to that. Possibly. Um, Interesting. Because that also seemingly has Karen walks through a park reflecting on her life. She considers the role that she had played in the lives of others. And this one is pretty much a um, reflection on Karen's life. Then it ends. Um, Bullseye hurls Daredevil's club back at him. Karen jumps in the way and the club impales her. Exactly the same way that he hurled the knife at Karen, and Langton jumped in the way, so he got stabbed. And then dies in Matt's arm in a scene that is very similar to the ending scene, but reversed. Interesting. I was not expecting. I think I may actually have this exact comic because the talk about the whole Matt having a baby, which I think is claimed to be his and Elektra's. Daredevil. Mephisto gives Daredevil one final warning that his mother may be in danger. Daredevil returns to Clinton Mission's shelter to find a massacre has taken place. Bullseye reveals himself into fight. Bullseye notes that Daredevil has the advantage, so he shoots Daredevil in the shoulder. Bullseye wins the fight, but Karen brings the baby to trade for Daredevil's life, discovers the baby is fake, finds the real baby and takes her, and then as he leaves, he tries to kill Matt. I'm pretty sure it's got Sister Maggie in it as well. Gwyneth's daughter. Yeah, I definitely have this story. Hang on, I want to see if I can find it. Turns out, yes, I do have this exact comic because right there, The Death of Karen Page. I knew the title sounded familiar, and the image of Matt with a baby strapped to his back was very familiar. I am surprised they pulled so much from that story with the ending, because it's the church that Maggie's a part of, or the shelter that Maggie's a part of. He goes there, finds Bullseye having taken out a bunch of people. Bullseye was threatening a bunch of people at the church where Maggie is stationed. Karen is killed by Bullseye. Bullseye is trying to kill Karen. And there's all the visual parallels and everything. Huh. I don't actually know Karen's backstory from the comics before she arrived at New York. At least I don't remember, if I know it, to how similar that is with the one depicted in this episode. I could always just Google Karen Page. Not the MCU, I want the Earth 616. Um, no. Okay. She definitely did not have the same backstory. Karen was born and raised in Fagan Corner, Vermont. Yeah. Little girl in grade school gained notoriety for competing in spelling bees. High school, her bright streak continued, earning all A's, becoming a cheerleader, and eventually captaining the cheer squad. She graduated summa cum laude at the University of Vermont with a GPA of 3.8. Following her graduation, she looked to work in New York City. Although it was assumed she would inherit her family's wealth, she sought work to make a name and living for herself. So that is very different. The whole past with drugs and everything is from after her relationship with Matt. When she tried to become an actor in LA. Hmm. Yeah. And then she got addicted to drugs, sold everything for more drugs, including Daredevil's identity, which then led to the whole events of Born Again, and I'm also pretty sure that's a part of the story before that. Because I also have that story. It's the one where Fisk blows up Matt's apartment building. That may also be the one where we get the funny line of a bunch of heavily armored people with night vision goggles coming to attack me. Whatever shall I do? Flicks the light on so the night vision blinds them. I definitely have that. But anyway, yeah. So they completely changed Karen's backstory, added in elements from different parts of her story to turn her into the Karen that we saw at the start of this show. Because the Karen at the start of this was not the same as the Karen from the early comics. In fact, the Karen at the start of the show was somewhat related to the Karen when she returned to New York, I want to say. But anyway, hmm. They also don't have anything about her story after her death. Was Karen never brought back? Huh? Okay, anyway, way off topic, but I was, like I said, I was not expecting most of this to be Karen's backstory. I don't know how I knew about the car flip, because the scene that I was picturing in my head was completely different than what we saw in this episode. So it's not even like I could have seen clips when this originally came out. I thought she killed her boyfriend. She just shot him in the arm. Here's the question. They said that the cop was going to omit details and say that Kevin was the only one in the car. Couldn't that boyfriend have gone and had her done for shooting him? I guess he was selling drugs, so he wouldn't want the cops looking too much into him about why he was shot and everything. Because if he called him on Karen, then Karen could have said that he was beating her brother to death with a tire iron. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Anyway, I'm gonna end this one here. I'm interested to see what these last 3 episodes are. So, yeah, guess I'll catch you in the next one.